Hello guys and welcome another video due to the fighting game roundtable discussion, and we have one surprising, very surprising reveal from SNK earlier, and this was this guy Rugal. For those who don't know the lore for King of Fighters, I mean Rugal is one of the most popular bosses in the game. Okay, in most of the King Fighters, there was time that he was the final boss, but there are also King of Fighters moments where he was also one of the contestants or maybe challenger. And I mean, he's one of the popular bosses in the SNK world. Now, we got this confirmation earlier that Rugal is a free update, and I mean, there's an unspoken rule about using boss characters in arcades before that. Usually, bosses in King of Fighters are not are banned from versus play, because usually King of Fighters was always in the arcades, and usually if you use geese and maybe other bosses, this will they will give you the boot to get out of here, and you're banned for, or they will complain. Now, another interesting thing about this update is the boss syndrome. Finally, the boss challenge is now back. This is one of SNK's unique characteristics for in every fighting game that they have. So if you're playing if you play it before, if you play in arcades or maybe in any fighting game now on consoles, there's always something special about the final boss in the story. They give it a complete insane, madness to that particular boss character, which might throw your controller, or you want to maybe put some tantrum or rage because you get frustrated every time. As you see video, I mean, every time that Rugal does his genocide cutter, it's always it's always a piercing through every move that you got, and you'd have no choice but to cry there and get good and try to beat Rugal next time. And usually this update is interesting because the boss that we have, I mean, I couldn't say that prove a challenge, but looking at the video right now, it looks like Rugal is this boss syndrome Rugal is really shocking as compared to the KOF 15 final boss. And what's good about this is, if in case you beat Rugal boss syndrome challenge, you will be able to earn a badge, or you will get some unlockables. So it's like when people try to beat you online and and you host them and you see this stage and it looks like, oh, okay, this guy beat Rugal now. So this is one of the best if not single player content. It's been a while since this kind of thing was was given to a particular fighting game. Maybe with the games right now, with the rollback and everything, there are a certain portion of people that or certain group of fighting gamers who like to play games or maybe fighting games in a single only for a single player content, rather than with grinding with multiplayer. Well, that's the nature of fighting games. You need to compete or you need to play online, but there's also a portion of fighting game players that they like single player content more. And usually in the arcades before, I mean, the more you go further to the stage, or should I say, I think I experienced this where there are some hidden in order to unlock or fight the certain boss, there are some mechanics that you want to make sure that you will reach it in a single coin, like defeating enemies with perfect, finishing all supers with with either the max super or the climax super. There's really things that you are interested to try out, even though it's a single player content. You want to try this out, and SNK now gives us this opportunity to to play the boss syndrome, which is, I think, it's one of the current or best experience, fighting game experience that SNK could give. I mean, a fighting game developer made it. So if you see the video, look at this. Genocide Cutter is piercing through everything. Even with the climax, it's piercing through everything. So this is one characteristic. Usually there are more crazy bosses than Rugal. I mean, you have if you have played the older King of Fighters, you have Ignis, you have Goimitz, you have Orochi, you have Chrysalid, you have Zero. There are still Magaki, Mukai, Ash. I mean Dark Ash. So there's really a unique personality to these bosses, which if you're really that SNK fan that you want to fight each of one of its bosses, I could say it's like a trip to memory lane, and at the same time it's one of the unique experience that you might have on maybe on your fighting game repertoire or career, which only SNK could have. So let's see. I mean, we still need to see how Rugal will play out in this King of Fighters 15. And the update is still in April, but it's only a couple of days away or weeks away. I think that's it for Boss Syndrome Rugal. That's my opinion about the latest King of Fighters update. That's it for now. Have a good one. Cheers. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more fighting game content. See you in the next one. Have a good one. Stay safe. Cheers.